Dr. MLADENOVA is a senior future leader included in the program of the Foundation for Global Community Health, Las Vegas, USA, organization with experts from 70 countries working for the public health and well-being since 2014. The representative for Bulgaria of the first global school education program based on the UN Sustainable Development Goals supported by the Foundation for Global Community Health. And the Global Sustainable Index Institute Foundations holds a PhD degree, doctorate degree in sports science, physical education and sports tourism from the National Sports Academy, Vasilevsky. She has completed her postgraduate in Economy and Management of Tourism at the University of National and World Economy, Sofia, Bulgaria. As a president of the Commission for the Development of Study, Student Sports in Republic of Bulgaria, she has been a chair of the organizing committee and founder of the first National Student Summer and Winter Games since 2008. She has over 15 years of experience organizing and conducting research and practical implementation in sports tourism, special events, and digital marketing and communication, wellness, and public health area. Special accent in her practical and scientific work is given to implementation of the digital platform of HOPS Sports Brain Breaks, physical activity solutions, and investigation of the impact of the digital learning and teaching in the area of physical activities, mental health, and well-being. She is the author of more than 20 scientific papers published in international journals. She holds key position in many international projects with the partnership of the Foundation for Global Community Health. The Global Sustainable Index Institution Foundation, BRICS, Council for Sports Science and Physical Education, International Federation for Fitness, Health, Physical Education, Iron Game Seats. As a member of the Future Leader Program, she was a part of organizing committee in the International Conference of Physical Education and Sports Science in different countries like Indonesia, India, Turkey, Philippines, Brazil, Saudi Arab, India, South Africa. She participated as a keynote speaker and lecturer in more than 20 international scientific conferences around the world. So I am warmly welcome Dr. Meldenova, and we are very lucky. We are the new in this area of field, sports and education. Our university is situated in 2018, and our focus only on sports and education. And I am very thankful to Executive Director Dr. S.S. Royji gave a great opportunity for us. Now I invite our guest speaker for today's topic in online webinar, Dr. Meldenova. Please continue.
Hello, dear international colleagues. May I share with you my presentation now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, but I have to choose a smaller files because the size limit is 50 megabytes. Now, I'll try it. Could you see my presentation now?
No, ma'am. Please share your screen, ma'am.
Yes. Excuse me, but I have to choose a smaller file because I have included in my presentations 2 videos. Now I will remove the videos from the presentation and we'll share it. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
I will try again without the videos. Still waiting for processing now, the presentation.
Ma'am, I think so. Please share your views verbally.
Okay, my presentation is ready.
Okay, okay.
Can you see my presentation or no?
No.
On my wall, I see my presentation.
Dr. Rajesh, is it visible there sometime?
Ma'am, don't share your presentation.
Yes, I upload my presentation and I see on my wall.
Ma'am, don't share your presentation.
Yes, I see my presentation on my wall. Okay, may I send you my presentation?
Dr. Rajesh, presentation मंगा
Okay, may I send you my presentation?
Dr. Rajesh, presentation मंगा
Okay, may I send you my presentation?
डॉक्टर साहब शेयर नहीं हो रही है इनकी प्रेजेंटेशन।
हाँ तो वही कर रहा हूँ ना, she wants to send it here, so can we upload that from our end?
Now, can you see my presentation or no?
No.
दोस्तों ये लड़की फोन पर बात करते करते जा रही होती है, तभी पीछे से दो
Okay, I will send you it to you, doc, my presentation now.
डॉक्टर साहब अगर हो नहीं रही है तो ये वर्बली एक बार वैसे अपना इंट्रोडक्शन शुरू कर दें, ट्राई करते रहें साथ में।
हाँ वही तो मैं भी सोच रहा हूँ। If it is not available, you can start that like that also.
Okay, now I send to you my presentation. Okay.
तो वहाँ
To your email. To your email.
I'll just see. तो फिर अब इसको मैं आपके पास भेजूं, कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं हम इसको, अपलोड कर सकते हैं?
मैं पांडे से बात करता हूँ सर।
हाँ ठीक है। पांडे को कहिए अपना ईमेल आईडी मुझे भेज दे। डॉक्टर पांडे को बोला आपने भेजने के लिए?
हाँ सर बोल रहे हैं अभी।
अच्छा
आपकी मेल पे है क्या सर इनकी प्रेजेंटेशन?
हाँ अभी भेजा इन्होंने।
हाँ उदयराम जी। डॉक्टर साहब बात हुई है मेरी, वो अभी कर रहे हैं वहां से, तो मैडम के उधर से ही शेयर हो जाएगी।
अच्छा ठीक है।
1 मिनट वेट करें बस।
Our people are doing some thing to help you to put. हाँ
1 मिनट।
देखो यूट्यूब में देखो।
अरे ये तो हो रही है वो जो मैडम। मैम प्लीज ट्राई, यू मे स्टार्ट नाउ योर स्क्रीन।
Okay, everything is okay. May I start now? Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Oh, excuse me for these technical problems, but let's try to start. Okay. Greetings from Bulgaria, again, dear international colleagues. It is a big honor for me to share this global stage with you. The topic of my presentation is related to the public health, mental and physical challenges in the post-COVID-19 era. Firstly, I want to extend my gratitude to the organizing committee of the SKD Sports webinar and to Dr. Roy, Chief Advisor and Executive Director Sports, SKD University, for the given opportunity. In the new reality, such events became the agents of digital globalization, one of the most important features of 21st century. Nowadays, our global society faces big challenges in threats in the times of the first major pandemic. The outbreak of COVID-19 has forced governments to impose the lockdown policies around the world. Social isolation became the new normal form of living. Under such circumstances, the big issue became the question of how to maintain the physical and mental health and how to cope with the new reality. Humankind is going through a new and unprecedented experience with the rapidly spreading of COVID-19 pandemic. There is no doubt that the COVID-19 pandemic will change the face of human society, but it forces us to ask some important questions. According to the World Health Organization, the problem does not lie only in COVID-19 alone, but rather in the fear, panic, and terror caused by the rapidly spread of this virus. According to the CEO of International Council of Nurses, Howard Keaton, health is a human right and that right should be applied equally to physical and mental health problems. The COVID-19 pandemic has posed a serious threat to the global mental health. Multiple lines of evidence suggested that there is a varying yet considerable increase in mental health issues among the general populations and vulnerable groups. Published studies support the existence of an emotional epidemic curve describing a high probability of an increase of the burden of mental health issue, which will obviously extrapolate in the post-COVID-19 era. Anxiety and depression are the most frequently diagnosed psychological diseases showing a high comorbidity. They have a severe impact on the lives of the persons concerned. Many meta-analytical studies suggested a positive anxiolytic and depression-reducing effect of exercise programs. There is no doubt that the linkage between the mental health and physical activity is very deep and very critical today. The worldwide spread of COVID-19 has upset the normality of daily routine, forcing the population to social distancing and self-isolation. Since the containment precaution also concerned sport-related activities, home workout remained the only possibility to play sports and stay active during the pandemic. Based on these evidences, the aim of joint research study with Ohio State University, USA, entitled Psychological Responses, Coping Strategies, and Physical Activity During the COVID-19 Pandemic has been proposed from the Bulgarian perspective as follows. Investigate psychological responses, coping strategies, and physical activity during the COVID-19 pandemic. Examine the influence of physical activity as a coping strategy in psychological health and overall well-being during social isolation. The present study is an online survey realized through the Google Forms web survey platform. The online survey is anonymous and not traceable to the identity of participants. The study was approved by the Risk Management Committee of the Joint Training Simulation and Analysis Center of the Institute of ICT Bulgarian Academy of Science, and it was conducted by following the Declaration on Helsinki. The survey was carried out in Bulgaria, and the research was done among 952 Bulgarian citizens aged between 18 to 65. The aim is to obtain information from all different age groups. So the analysis of the survey reveals some important facts regarding the correlation of physical activity and the levels of anxiety and depression and the possibility for coping with the pandemic situation and social isolation. We analyzed the levels of anxiety, hope, and coping, and also the levels of metabolic equivalent tasks between the different age groups. The analysis revealed high levels of anxiety and depression of the youngest respondents in comparison with the groups of the age of 25 till 54. The comparative analysis of Heart Hope Index around the age revealed significant differences between the group 6 plus 65 and the other 5 observed groups. But the analysis of the brief resilience coping scale revealed also significant differences between group 6 plus 65 and the other 5 groups. Analyzing the levels of physical activities among the observed groups, we found a difference between group 6, again, plus 65, and the other 5 observed groups, but the analysis showed a negative trend in comparison in the two first groups, 80 to 24 and 24 to 34. The aim of that study was to explore the impact of the changes of levels of physical activity during the lockdown period among the mental health and well-being. The analysis showed increased the significant differences between the group with increased and decreased levels of physical activities regarding the levels of anxiety. Exactly the groups with the decreased levels of physical activities have the higher levels of anxiety and lowest levels regarding hope and coping possibilities. I want to present you the answer of the question compared to your physical activity levels before the lockdown period. Would you say your physical activity levels during the lockdown period were only 9% increase, 43% decrease, 39% almost the same, and 9% hard to tell? The main goal of the analysis was to examine the influence of physical activity as a coping strategy in psychological health and overall well-being. Regarding this perspective, we have summarized the following tendencies. 43.4% of the respondents have decreased levels of physical activities, besides 8.8% answered increased. The most affected groups of decreased levels of physical activities are the group plus 65, followed by the youngest respondents, 18 to 24. Precisely the group of youngest have the highest level of anxiety and depression. According to the change of levels of physical activity during the lockdown period, the respondents with increased levels of physical activity presented significantly higher levels of coping with the pandemic situation in comparison with the persons with decreased levels of physical activity. And one important thing, sport was answered as a second important tool as a coping strategy with the consequences of social isolation. We have to point out that the burdens of mental disorders affected the youngest generation, especially depression, anxiety, and drug use disorders. The post-epidemic stage will see the emergence of a new human being whose daily behavior and thinking will differ from what it was before the COVID-19 outbreak. In fact, we will find ourselves faced with the generations who think differently from the pre-pandemic generation. So it follows that generation better will be born earlier than the predicted period from 2025. Now we have to make a relation with the environment. conditions for learning, isolation, and all of these tools for the new reality in which conditions have forced to live our children. We live in the bringing of the new technological revolution that will alter the way of our behavior and attitudes in all areas of our existence, personal, social, professional. And one of the big questions that face our society is how to prepare the new generation to face any challenges in the terms of a new reality. In the book of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, Professor Klaus Schwab, founder and former executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, said that together shape a future that works by all, by putting people first, empowering them, and constantly reminding ourselves that all of these new technologies are first and foremost tools made by people for people. And the question is how to combine the new technologies and the holistic approach in physical education, in physical activities and sports. I want to quote the Professor Minkai Chin that a major contributing factor to this issue has been shifts in both the dietary and activity patterns of individuals. We can use brain breaks to draw the linkage and application of a holistic health and physical education model and interactive technology as one of the positive means of combating global epidemic of overweight and obesity, which provokes a lot of physical and mental problems. I want to make a short introduction of the meaning of Brain Break. Brain Break is a dynamic online platform designed for teachers to support whole school, whole community, and whole child model. Also, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I will present you one of the world recognized digital programs as a solution for the implementation in the terms of the distance learning during the coronavirus pandemic as, as a tool to overcome the consequences of social isolation. I want to share with you one video, but it's too big, so the other important feature of the internationally created Brain Break videos is that they are the messenger of the global culture, connecting children through sport, games, dances, and arts. And the first task of our research was to explore the attitudes of the pupils, their habits related with physical activity and health orientation. For this purpose, we are using a self-report survey instrument entitled Attitudes Toward Physical Activity Scale. The survey includes Bulgarian primary school students from 1st till 7th grade. We analyzed also the BMI of the pupils as criteria about their health situation. Using BMI for age percentile base of developed by the National Center of Health Statistics in collaboration with the National Center of Chronic Disease Prevention and Health Promotion. We use the crosstabs to present the distribution of BMI regarding the gender of the pupils. As you see at the diagram, there is no significant variation in the group of underweight, but we found a significant variation in the other two groups, overweight and obesity, and we have to point out that the girls are leading with 7.2%. We made also a cluster analysis using three variables, gender, BMI, and the answer of the question, being physically active helped to give me a good health. As you see, the most importance by clustering took exactly the third variable. We have to summarize that the first group of pupils include a positive answer among the boys with lower degrees of BMI. Besides, the second group of pupils answered negative to the questions are mostly girls with higher degrees of BMI. As a conclusion, we have to point that after 3 months of collaboration with the teachers, social workers, psychologists, and parents, we can summarize that the digital program of HOPSPORTS Brain Break Physical Activity Solution is more relevant now than ever, particularly with providing different physical activities applicable at home practicing healthy habits and connecting children around the world through sport, culture, and arts. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the unprecedented lockdown of the countries around the world, maintaining physical and mental health became the most important than ever. The global impact of COVID-19 pandemic leads to an urgent need to create strategies for combating such pandemics. Now, the long-term goals of the studies in the post-COVID digital era is to examine the psychological responses, coping strategies, and physical activities across countries and to reveal the reliable coping strategies using the potential of innovative measures and actions to go beyond the pandemic and to create a sustainable future for our society. Because of the lack of time, if you have any questions, I want to present you after 2 years working on this project, Psychological Responses, Coping Strategies and Physical Activities. This is my new book. I want to thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Doctor. I sincerely appreciate that you have spared time for us and could give such useful information, which is based on a lot of research and hard work in the pandemic and post-pandemic era. I will thank you on the behalf of the management of SKD University, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. SK Das, the Vice Chancellor, the Chairman, Dr. Dinesh, and Babulalji. Uh, Before we wind up, I would like to take 5 minutes of, I will translate what you have said to the best of my ability so that the people who have been following us in the program, they can come and they realize the importance of the presentation that you have made. तो ये जो अभी डॉक्टर मेल्डिनोवा ने जो आपको प्रेजेंटेशन दिखाया, इसमें संक्षिप्त में ये एक कोविड के पीरियड और पोस्ट कोविड पीरियड के बारे में जो कुछ भी उस समय प्रॉब्लम से साइकोलॉजिकल हो, एंजाइटी के हो, डिप्रेशन हो और पब्लिक हेल्थ का हो इन पोस्ट कोविड के टाइम में और पोस्ट कोविड टाइम में, तो उसके बारे में जो भी रिसर्चेस हुए थे इंटरनेशनली और इनके देश में बल्गेरिया में, वो उनके बारे में बताया उन्होंने। और मोर और लेस हमारे यहाँ भी वही सब प्रॉब्लम्स थी, साइकोलॉजिकली सब कोई लेट डाउन हो गए थे, हम लोग काफ़ी एंजाइटी में थे इस सिचुएशन को फेस करते हुए। तो वो सब जो कॉमन प्रॉब्लम्स थी, कहीं पे किसी तरह का रिसर्च हुआ और ये जो इन्होंने रिसर्चेस के बारे में बनाया, फिर उन्होंने जो ब्रेन ब्रेक्स के बारे में बताया। ब्रेन ब्रेक्स इज़ अ न्यू आइडिया, एक नया आइडिया है जो कि अच्छा आइडिया है, क्योंकि फिज़िकल एजुकेशन और फिज़िकल एक्टिविटी को बच्चों के लिए कनेक्ट करने के लिए था वो, जो उस समय अपने अपने घरों में थे। तो सब मिला जुला के जो वैसे अगर स्पोर्ट्स के बारे में और फिर पब्लिक हेल्थ के बारे में बात किया जाए, तो स्पोर्ट्स जो है वो पब्लिक हेल्थ को इम्प्रूव करता है और स्पोर्ट्स और पब्लिक हेल्थ के साथ एक मजबूत संबंध है दोनों का। ये एक दूसरे पर निर्भर भी करते हैं। जहाँ पे पब्लिक हेल्थ अच्छा है वहाँ पे स्पोर्ट्स भी बेहतर होता है, और अगर जहाँ पे ज़्यादा यूथ और बच्चे जो है स्पोर्ट्स में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, उसमें नेचुरली फिर पब्लिक हेल्थ जो है वो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ लोगों का अच्छा होता है। अगर पब्लिक हेल्थ अच्छी होती है तो उसका स्पोर्ट्स परफॉर्मेंस पर भी असर पड़ता है, और पब्लिक हेल्थ का सीधा और बड़ा घनिष्ठ संबंध है फिज़िकल हेल्थ से। और इसका इम्पोर्टेंस हम इसी तरह समझ सकते हैं कि 2002 में वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने 6 अप्रैल को वर्ल्ड फिज़िकल एक्टिविटी डे अनाउंस किया है, और हर साल सारी दुनिया में वर्ल्ड फिज़िकल एक्टिविटी डे 6 अप्रैल को मनाया जाता है। तो इन सब चीज़ों से काफ़ी समय न लेते हुए ये सब ब्रीफली था, और आई वंस अगेन थैंक डॉक्टर मेल्डिनोवा एंड द इंटायर ग्रुप ऑफ एसकेडी। डॉक्टर राजे, आपको कुछ कहना है? आप एक बार थैंक कर दीजिए सबको।
जी, थैंक्स डॉक्टर मेल्डिनोवा, थैंक्स डॉक्टर SS Roy ji, give your precious time to our institution, and my views are here that India's objective is clear, SKD University objective is clear, India will play, only then India will move forward. So we are again very, very thankful to our guest speaker, Dr. Meldova and Dr. S.S. Roy ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you. Thanks a lot.